ClowdyWorld, and man, oh man, oh man, Bernie Mac would be disappointed. When I think back about Bernie Mac, one of the first things I think about was that early show in the mid 2000s. You all know the one I'm talking about. And one of my favorite actors from that show was this woman called Camille Winbush. She was the older sister, a beautiful dark-skinned woman who was really educated. She played the role of kind of the know-it-all, but made her own goofy mistakes as she kind of navigated early teenage adulthood. And I really resonated with her character because the younger one was kind of a nerd, which is no hate because I like anime and all that stuff, but I feel like they pushed into it a little hard and it was sometimes a little hard to relate to him, but I liked his character progression overall. And I'm talking about Bernie Mac and that whole thing because Camille Winbush, the young woman that was from that show that was on there for a long time, it was getting paid at very least $10K per episode, is now talking about how she can't make her ends meet and is starting to begin her journey into making an Only Toes account. Now, Only Toes, as we know, is a very, very popular service. A lot of girls are doing it, especially girls I know. I know personally more than 10 women that are doing them. I'm not gonna ever say that I'm against that because honestly, being against that type of work is kind of redundant considering that type of work is the first original job ever. Like, that type of work has always been around, and I definitely feel a certain way sometimes because I get when people say that they don't want their kids being corrupted by that stuff, but I feel like you can have those type of genres and mediums separately if you can respect them and kind of keep them at their own way. We got to kind of be on parents a little bit about being more active about what their children are on online, especially in this new era where AI and stuff is kind of doing some insane things. Like, AI, people don't know, is able to basically create things that look exactly like reality, and there's a lot of AI coming out now that I think the people should at least start looking into it because a lot of people are going to be affected by it on every level. But I'm talking about her, specifically Camille Winbush, because I noticed a lot of things going on where a lot of young women are kind of going directly towards that Only Toes route, and I don't really like that, bro. And I feel like Uncle Bernie definitely rolling in his grave, man, because I know for a fact that if Uncle Bernie was alive, with all due respect to him, he would have made sure that she was situated. Because when I look at Cat Williams, someone that spoke very highly of Bernie and still speaks very highly of Bernie to this day, the way he moves, that he takes care of a lot of people. And I'm not saying because he did this he'll do that, but even people that knew Bernie like on a personal level knew that he was a very respectful and giving person, and that he had to earn his way in the industry. He wasn't just some dude that everyone loved immediately. Like, he got booed, he got talked to disrespectfully. He had to be that guy sometimes, and of course, we all know and we've all been through that grind as well. But just someone that I want to say, because it's really sad, because I definitely understand working and those checks being dried up, but it's like, dang, life's getting hard, F it, I'm gonna just do Only Toes. It's really becoming the new mentality, and it's like when all else fails, that cat gonna always sell. I think it's a real kind of weird joke that's going a little bit too far now, because it just seems like that's every single person now, bro. Like, I just want that stuff to just be chill now, man, and I don't think that we need to really be in that type of space, because even when I think about that stuff, I don't think that should be the narrative or kind of the journey that all young women should be looking at. And I'm not saying that every woman wants to be that or aspires to be that, but I'm saying that there is a very growing trend, especially of younger women. Like I said, personally, no, and I know that personal relationships and things like that are very anecdotal in these situations, but I really want to give a little bit of context. Like, I'm in Miami right now. I was from Southside Chicago, born and raised, but I'm in Miami, Florida, and I genuinely personally know so many women doing them. I even know 3 to 4 of them that are very successful, friends that are literally making 4 or 5 figures per month. Like, I'm not joking. And I can't say that I can look down or even hate on their life, because at the moment they're making way more bread than me, and they're taking care of their personal people and making sure they're situated. So if you're not hurting anyone, you're taking care of the people that you love and care about. What do I have as any right to judge you as any man who, at the end of the day, as a young man, we have responsibilities that we'd have to handle as well. It's just reality. And if I can't take care of those things, how can I hate on you who's already got a leg up handling your stuff? Yes, it's demeaning overall, just not on a personal level, but just statistically, like, it's the way a lot of women in that industry do feel long term. But again, everyone has a choice to do a certain job, and just because they're doing that now doesn't mean they won't switch it up or do what they want to as well. But I feel, and I really want to personally speak on this woman, because it really sucks that this really beautiful woman with a lot of acting credits and a lot of really personal, like, well-known relationships with people that are also acting, is having this struggle. Again, I'm not saying, you know, that I'm downing her for doing this. I'm just saying I literally just saw her in photos with some of these really popping Netflix actors. That woman, that lighter complexion woman that's from that really well-known college HBCU Netflix show. And I'm trying not to say too many names because I don't just want to throw other well-known people into other people's things, but I'm just saying that I've seen a lot of photos and videos with her with a lot of, you know, mingling with some very popping actors as well. And I think, what part do we have to kind of speak on a negligence of putting in that work with, you know, networking and being active? We all know at the end of the day, networking is powerful, and someone who has a strong influence in the industry and has a really strong, good maternal role. Like, when you have strong roles in Hollywood, one of the greatest actors of all time, well, to me at least, you know, when I look at Samuel L. Jackson, I look at people like that, when I look at, you know, Denzel Washington, he said that the first few movies and roles that you do will define your acting career and the way you're looked at for your entire life. And I look at that in a way of her as well, because even the way people look at her, are speaking to her online, they look at her still like that little niece that we all had, like that young woman that we all grew up with. And, you know, I don't want to speak on these things negatively, because I feel like these type of things get kind of a negative discourse where they kind of look at stuff like, they'll think that women are naturally going to want to become these workers, or, you know, the society's designed that way. And, you know, I just feel like that work, again, is the oldest profession to date, man. So it's not, you know, a hate, but I do wonder if it is natural. Not natural as in, oh, these people are evil, or, you know, are looked at or should be shunned. But I do wonder sometimes that if this is the oldest profession, is there something in some people's brains that have that natural wish to, you know, serve and things like that? Again, I don't know. Just very curious. I will say that, you know, I try to be very open-minded with stuff, but when people do throw around facts like it is the oldest profession and things like that, it makes me also wonder, you know, not just a male or woman thing, but just maybe is that just a thing that we all have to kind of acknowledge, that there should is a strong word, but there will always be that space for people to fulfill those needs, I guess. Just some thoughts and, you know, some food that y'all could think about. But overall, I do feel for this woman. I do feel for Camille Winbush a lot, because, again, I think she's one of the most decorated and respected actors, at least that I know, from that era of those child actors that, you know, I think that, you know, especially when you compare to people like Orlando Brown, like, she's kept her head on her shoulders, and she's always seemed to be someone that had a very positive light. And again, zero judgment. I just don't know why there's so much stigma sometimes, because she's owning her own body, bro, in her own home, and she's not in a dangerous, you know, studio setting and using her fame, you know, to charge. You know, what's the problem? Unless, you know, we're booking her or trying to get her for a movie, we got to keep that judgment a little bit respectful. Now, I'm even seeing people where they were attacking Tyler Perry, trying to put her on one of the shows, and I don't disagree with that, because I think that she's still a talented actor. Even when I saw her video kind of talking about things, and I want to post it, but I don't want, you know, the video to not be able to get the push it needs. I just want to say that I feel for her, and, you know, I want to see her be great, and I always want to see women in her position be their best. But ClowdyWorld, and let me know what y'all think about Camille Winbush's situation. How do y'all think Bernie Mac will react to it? And just let me know y'all thoughts. ClowdyWorld, and we gone.